Welcome to Story Up. This is a long form space for honest conversations about stories. The ones we live inside, the ones we carry for years, and the ones that continue shaping us even after they become books. I'm Dr. Marina Rivera, founder of Full Circle Press. I work closely with authors at many stages of their story's life, before a story is written, while it's being shaped, and after it's released into the world. Story Up exists because I believe that stories don't begin or end with a book. They shape how we see ourselves, how we make meaning, and how we move through the world, often long before they're written and long after they're shared. Here, I reflect on what it means to steward stories with care, responsibility, faith, and discernment, sometimes on my own and sometimes in conversations with authors whose stories are already out in the world. If you're holding a story that matters or living with the one that's still unfolding, you're in the right place. So, today I want to start with a question, and the question is this: what if the real cost of not finishing your book has nothing to do with money, has nothing to do with a financial return on your investment? What if it's costing you peace? What if it's costing you confidence, momentum, obedience? And what if it's costing you the people who are waiting on the message that God has placed inside of you? If you've had a book in your heart for months or maybe years and you keep telling yourself someday, then this video may be the wake up call that you need, because today we're talking about the hidden price of delay and how to finally move forward. So, hi, friends, welcome back. If you are a purpose driven writer, if you are an aspiring author, or if you're someone carrying a message you know is bigger than you, I believe that you're in the right place today. And let me say this clearly: this is not about guilt, this is not about condemnation. It's not about hustle culture. It's not about proving anything. It's about recognizing that sometimes what we call procrastination might actually be pain or fear or perfectionism or distraction or spiritual resistance that's just wearing a different name. And once we can see the real cost, we can finally do something about it. So today we're just going to talk honestly about what not finishing your book is actually costing you. I'm going to go out on a limb, and say that the first thing it's costing you is it might be costing you your internal peace. So there's a certain tension that comes from carrying something that you were meant to release. The and I know that all of us who have fallen into this can probably relate. It's the book idea that follows you into the shower, or the idea that shows up when you're driving and you're thinking about it, and then you wait, and then you're like, wait, how did I even get to my destination? Because you're so caught up in what is on your mind about this idea. It taps you on the shoulder while you're busy helping everyone else, and you can ignore it, but it never fully goes away. I did a whole workshop a little while back on it's called The Burden of Book Writing. And so it's that. It's that. And why it doesn't fully go away is because I believe that unfinished assignments can create internal noise. And many people think they need less stress. And this is true. We live in a very stress-filled world. But what if what we really need is movement? Because sometimes peace doesn't come from avoiding the assignment, it comes from beginning it. And if it's a book writing burden that's been placed on your heart, even one page, writing one page, writing one chapter can quiet something in your spirit. The second thing I think that an unfinished book might be costing you is it might be costing you your confidence, because every time you delay something deeply meaningful, you reinforce an identity. And I've heard this from authors who come to me who have had this book writing dream on their heart for a long time and haven't made movement on it. I hear them say things like, well, I never finish what I start, or I'm not disciplined enough, or I have all these ideas, but I can't execute on anything, or I guess I'm really not an author. But that may not actually be true. Maybe it's not about inconsistency, but maybe you just haven't been supported in the right ways. Maybe you haven't had the right people at the right time to walk alongside you on this journey. So maybe, again, you're not lazy. Maybe you're just overwhelmed. Like the whole process, it just seems overwhelming. Maybe you're not unqualified. Maybe you're afraid and there's some fear that you need to deal with. And I think there's a difference, because every small writing session that we can do does begin rebuilding trust with ourselves. Every paragraph we write signals to ourselves that I am becoming someone who follows through. And this can matter more than we think. And so I just have a quick question. If you're watching this, how long have you been carrying your book idea? You can put it in the comments, 6 months, 2 years, 10 years. And this is not about shame. It's just about awareness, because I do believe that today can be a turning point in that and in getting your message out into the world. The third thing I want to say is that it might be costing you is it might be costing other people the help they need. So a lot of authors think, like, who am I to write a book? But the better question might be, who loses out when you don't write the book? Who is waiting for your book? Your book may not need to change millions of lives, but what if it changes one? What if it changes 100? What if it is for one woman trying to rebuild after heartbreak? What if it's for one father who is trying to heal, one entrepreneur who needs courage, one believer who needs language for what they're walking through, one student who finally feels seen? You don't know what God can do with honest words on paper, but I have seen through testimonies of the authors I've worked with and those who I haven't worked with, I just love to collect people's stories, is your story really could become someone else's survival guide, but it can't help anyone if it's unfinished in your head. The fourth thing I want to share is it could be costing you, your unfinished book could be costing you your growth. Sometimes the purpose of writing the book is not only for the reader, it's for you as the author, because writing a book really can stretch you. It can confront like hidden or not so hidden tendencies towards perfectionism. It can reveal wounds and it can help heal them. It can develop discipline. It can help clarify what we believe and why. It can teach us consistency. It can mature our voice. And many people want the finished book, but they resist like who they have to become to create it or to complete it. But the process, like, that might be the whole point. The version of you on the other side of finishing the book might be stronger, might be clearer, might be freer than the one who started. The fifth thing it might be costing you is it might be costing you momentum in other areas of your life. So unfinished things tend to drain energy. And I know we know this. I'm big on home routines and home organization. And I know that if I pull the laundry, we live in small spaces. And so I don't have a laundry room where I am right now. I have a little laundry closet. And if I pull the clean laundry out of the laundry closet and I put it on the couch and I don't fold it and I don't put it away, it's like this just kind of sits in the background of my mind. And all day it kind of whispers, like, you still haven't done that. And this low level drag can really affect us. It can impact our confidence. And when it comes to book writing, it's like, oh, that unfinished drag can cost us creativity, focus, decision making. But when we complete something or when we move towards completion, it creates momentum. It creates that the opposite of that drag, because finishing one chapter often gives energy to do things in other parts of your life. Progress is contagious. Momentum spills over. And sometimes the book is the domino. It's why, like, for anybody who's worked on like how they start their morning, it's why, like, when I get up and I walk first thing in the morning, then I'm more likely to take that momentum and then build it into how I start other things in my day. The sixth point that I want to share, and the last point, is your unfinished book might be costing you legacy, because books outlive feelings and outlive moods and outlive algorithms and outlive trends. Years from now, someone you love may hold your words in their hands. It could be your daughter, your grandson, a stranger on the other side of the world, a person who's not even born yet. And if we really think about that, the thing that you keep postponing and not getting this book written could be a part of your legacy, not because it's perfect, but because it exists and because you had the courage to complete it. And so I want to be clear on something. I'm not saying that you need to go and write the whole book this week. I'm not saying you need the perfect outline or that you need more pressure. Lord knows, if you're anything like me, there's enough pressure out there to last me my lifetime. But maybe what you do need is the next step. I always call them your next right steps. 1 hour, 1 page, 1 chapter plan, 1 brave decision to stop delaying what matters, because small faithful movements really can change everything. And so I just want to ask you, what would finishing your book this year make possible? What is delay costing you now? And if you're ready, just comment below, I'm finishing the book. If you want more guidance for purpose-driven authors, you can subscribe to this channel. You can also find us over at fullcirclepress.org. But I just want to end with the fact that I do believe that if you're watching this, you're here on purpose and for a purpose. I believe your voice matters, your message matters, and it may be time to release what you were called to carry for a season. Thanks for being here. And my encouragement to you today is to go and get writing or keep writing.